I have been using this mug like almost every day since I got it in September, and I love her. Let's go. Hi, welcome back to my channel. It has been so long since I posted a video, but I finally have freed up a little bit of time, and after being almost done my first semester of being a TA, I really am realizing that there is a misunderstanding or a lack of knowledge about university etiquette. And being in university, you are part of a very large institution with a lot of moving pieces. And if you don't know how to navigate it in a way that is respectful to your fellow students and professors and so on, and that also works for you and that benefits you, then I just don't really know what you're hoping to get from it. So I want to talk about a few basic etiquette rules of university that are helpful if you're coming in, and if so, welcome. The first and most lacking etiquette advice that I want to give is about writing emails. So writing an email seems like the easiest thing, but it's actually very often the first contact that you're going to have with a fellow academic, and so it's quite important to make it an art. Writing an email is an art. You want to be respectful of people's time, and you also want to maximize the quickness at which the person responds to you and their willingness to engage with you after that first impression. So the main thing is we're going to need a very clear, simple subject line. Then we're going to do a quick introduction so they know who you're talking about, or you know who they are talking to, rather. Then we're going to state our question very concisely. We're going to make sure that we've done our due diligence before sending an email, because if it's clearly in the syllabus, we don't want to be sending an email for that. Then we want to be very clear about what we are trying to get from that person, and we're going to sign very politely. So for example, if I'm trying to get a meeting with a potential PhD supervisor, my subject line might be request for meeting. And then I might write, hello, my name is Amélie. I am a second year MA student studying, death studies for me. And I think that my possible PhD research would benefit from your expertise on blah, blah, blah. Would you have a time next week to meet, offer a few times, and then sign politely, cordially, or have a nice day, and then your name, right? So we want it to be clear, concise, short, and if it's a question related to the syllabus, make sure you check it first. Make sure you check the information that's already been provided to you, so you don't waste the professor's time by making them do something they've already done by putting it on the syllabus and providing that to you. And now I want to be clear that this is especially important if you're going to make a career in academia, because most of academic life is answering emails and sending emails. So if it feels like too much effort, you are going to have a rough time. And I also want to add that etiquette for response, that will very much vary from person to person. And so unless it's as a general rule, you want to give the person that you're writing to at least a week to get back to you. Then after a week, you might want to give a very gentle nudge because they might have, missed your email. But do not re-email the same day or the day after and expect an answer. That's just not gonna happen, because you are one of 12,000 emails in their inbox. So get in touch very early if it's urgent stuff. And if it is urgent, do mention it in a very kind and polite way, of course. But yeah. The next thing is that if you can't engage meaningfully in discussion, this is going to be extremely difficult for you. You can get away with it if it's if you're doing big lectures, and you will have big lectures in your degree. But once you get into a seminar where it's 20 people or less, if you're chatting or scrolling on TikTok or whatever it may be, you're not going to do very good. So you have to be able to engage meaningfully in discussion, otherwise these kinds of degrees are going to eat you alive. So things that you want to do is listen actively, build on other people's comments, and generate links between comments that have been made. ask very thoughtful questions and don't try to dominate the room, right? A seminar is sort of a group project where we're all learning together and we're learning from each other. And seminars are the training ground, so use them wisely, do participate in them, but also be meaningful and purposeful in how you are participating in seminars. The next thing is, if you are not prepared to handle sources ethically and to make the effort in doing the proper citation and quoting, then not only is this not the place for you, but also it's useless to be in this degree, because you will inevitably get caught, and sanctions for plagiarism are usually being dismissed from the university altogether. So cite every idea that is not yours. Don't plagiarize, even if it's by accident. Give a double check to your writing all the time. Keep track of your sources as you go, and learn how to use your whatever citation style you're using when you write essays. In history, it's Chicago. In I think in sociology, it's MLA. So on and so forth. Humanities really do run on academic integrity. Research is again, a group project, but we want to make sure that everyone who is involved in the research that you produce, either primary sources and secondary sources, are quoted. And if that annoys you, you are probably in the wrong field, unfortunately. Also, don't count on ChatGPT to cite things properly for you or to provide sources with the proper citations, because it is wrong most of the time. And also use your brain. You are capable. One thing you will learn in university is collaboration, and you will do group projects. And let me be very clear, I hate group projects. Okay, hate them. However, like I just said, the humanities in and of itself is a big group project. So you need to know how to work in a group. It's not cute to ghost. It's not cute to not participate. So things that you want to do when it comes to group projects that are related to practical etiquette is, 1, communicate early, get in touch with your group members as soon as possible, set deadlines together and divide the task together. Make sure that everyone agrees on the task that they are to undertake and the deadline at which they have to do those tasks. Actually show up, and if you happen to have any issues in which you can't contribute, or you can't contribute as much or as fast, you have to say so ASAP. So group work teaches collaboration. That is a skill that is very useful in the humanities and in university as a whole, but that every employer actually cares about. So it's a great way to go practice group skills. And if you can't act like a teammate, then university is going to feel very hostile, because it is a group endeavor. And speaking of deadlines, if you can't meet them, please ask for extensions properly, or actually meet your deadlines. So in the humanities and university as a whole, and actually in every single career, deadlines are actually going to matter quite a lot. And so does communicating when you need help, or when you're in a tight bind and you need an extension. To ask for an extension, ask before the deadline, as early as possible. When you know that there's some friction, that's when you want to start inquiring about an extension. But the day of, that's not going to cut it. Offer a realistic new date for submission. That'll vary on the project and also on your situation, but set a realistic new date. Be honest about your situation without trauma dumping. And also don't just vanish, and don't just not submit something. Most professors are going to grant the extension. They don't actually care all that much about an extra day or two, but you do need to show some responsibility for meeting deadlines. So all of these pieces of etiquette advice are all actually very transferable skills, right? So etiquette for writing emails is etiquette for how to professionally communicate in the professional world. Seminar etiquette teaches you and makes you practice active listening and critical thinking. Citation etiquette is going to show you how to do. Citation etiquette is going to improve your ethical decision making. Group etiquette, teamwork, pretty clear on that one. And deadline etiquette shows your reliability and your time management. if you can follow all of these basic lines of etiquette, you're going to be, you know, ahead of most students. And if you can't yet, that's fine, because university is literally where you learn it, and the fact that you're here watching this video is a fabulous first step for heading towards that. So stay away from university if you can't respect the people around you that you work with, if you can't communicate clearly, or if you can't take responsibility for your work. But if you're willing to learn and study those habits and improve in them, you're not only going to survive, you are going to thrive. So on that note, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, tell me in the comments what university etiquette rule do you wish people actually followed better. For me, it's gonna have to be email. I think so. We all collectively need to be better at writing emails. Thank you for your time, thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!